Now, whenever you're using the EPS and using these develop presets here on the left side, the big advantage, as you've learned, is that you have a completely visual way of controlling the look of your image. And that creates a very flexible and very quick way of adjusting your image. But on the other hand, you can see that the price you're going to pay for doing this is that you are somewhat limited in the variety of different settings and different combinations that you can apply to your image. So you cannot do each and everything that you could if you did the adjustments manually on the right side with all the adjustment panels. Whoops. Which is only logical, because this is a simplification, so to speak. It's a mix of a preset-driven approach to adjusting your image and a manual approach. It's somewhere in the middle between these two. Now, it is important to understand that one consequence of this is that you may not be able to take your image to exactly the spot where you would like it. But that's not really a problem, because you can go as close to this spot as you wish. And then in a second step, you can tweak these settings by coming over here to the standard adjustment panels. Of course, you need some knowledge about Lightroom to be able to do this. But if you open these panels one after the other, you can see what the component presets that you chose in the EPS workflow here on the left have actually done to your image. So you see the basic adjustments here. For example, we've raised the dynamic range by lowering the highlights, raising the shadows, a bit of contrast, and so on. You can go through these panels here one by one. Here we've raised the mid-tone contrast a little bit with the tone curve. And you can, of course, change any of these settings. There's nothing keeping you from doing this, and it doesn't interfere with anything that you do here, except that it overrides these specific changes, of course. So all the remaining things that you adjusted using the EPS preset groups here on the left are going to be preserved, except for the specific slider that you are using here to tweak your image. So now we can go on here, in here, and raise the clarity, for example, or make a minor exposure adjustment to just lower the exposure on this building here, which was a bit bright. And in this way, you can really fine-tune and tweak the adjustments that you're doing to your image. Now, when you're done doing this and you are content with what you have achieved for your image, it's easy to create this whole, or to turn this whole thing into a all-in-one preset. And just go to the top of the presets panel, click this plus sign here. You would normally want to check all the boxes here to really capture all the settings that we did. And you can actually store this in any folder that you have in your presets panel, but I'm going to store it in this final folder of the EPS system, which is called My EPS Compositions. And this is specifically for doing this, storing your own presets. You can give it some name. Landscape 1, for example. And then click Create. And you see that it appeared here in your EPS Compositions folder.